Kev Mac video. You know, this is for sure. Kev Mac video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby. Kev Mac video. You know, this is for sure. Kev Mac video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto. Hold up. For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole.
For the homegirls with the scrap game.
Little homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you been through, shit you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on the turf, I know them killers you kin to. This for the lost generation, broke as hell, mad and impatient. But if you know your history, you can't have a strong foundation, baby.
Introduce yourself.
I'm original baby gangster, Gawtti, the Teflon, the almighty Booyah Tribe, Westside Barson Piru.
Where was you born and raised?
Born and raised in Carson, California.
How many brothers and sisters you have?
There are mainly 6 brothers, 1 sister, but we had nephews and family that grew up with us, so it was mainly like 8 of us.
Do you have any idea how Carson became the Polynesian capital of the county?
Yeah, it started from a lot of the old folks, like my father. They were all mainly from the Navy. So at that time, the Long Beach shipyard was the job that hard labor that Samoans that could adapt to. So when they came from Hawaii, from the islands to Hawaii first, and then they joined the Navy or the service, and Carson was the mecca because of the Long Beach shipyard. It was jobs, and the majority, I say like 80% of Samoans worked at the Long Beach shipyard. That was their bread and butter. Even though you lived in Long Beach or Compton, Carson, Wilmington, or San Pedro, they all worked at every parent's fathers all worked at either the Long Beach shipyard or the Long Beach shoreman, the docks.
When was that, the 1960s?
It was the early 50s.
50s?
Yeah. Yep, the early 50s, man.
Where exactly did you live at in Carson?
I was born and raised in Carson, California, in Avalon and 223rd Street.
And what hood is that known as?
That's known as the Westside Pirus.
And you know the history behind that?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, because I was in the era of, I was born in the early 70s. So I was caught up in the era of the 80s when crack first came out, and in the late 70s. Going to the park and free lunches, and just as a young, I seen a lot, especially when my brothers were all in that generation. My brother Godfather and Roscoe. Everybody was, all the brothers had different ages, but me being the youngest, I seen a lot coming from them, growing up.
What can you tell me about Blue City?
Blue City started. Godfather started that. It was a street dancing group that he started back in the days. It started from in the early 70s. In those days, they had a lot of groups that were representing California, especially the West Coast. Blue City was a locking group that he had. Mainly it was like the second generation, because there was a group before them that was called Gawtti Lockers, and and if you go on YouTube, you can see the original Lockers, which is Shabba-Doo, Rerun, Penguin, Tony Basil, Fluky Lou, Blue, all the originals, and then when it turned to Boogaloo and Poppy, which originated from the Electric Boogaloos from Fresno, which is Boogaloo Sam, and Pop and P, Skeeter Rabbit, rest in peace, from Compton, Decky, all the original Electric Boogaloos. But yeah, Blue City came from a street dancing group that my brother Godfather started. It was him, Mr. Wiggles, O.G. Sambo, rest in peace, Big Mike Allo, rest in peace, and the twins, Jack and Charlie, Heckle and Jekyll.
Godfather just died recently, right?
Yeah, he passed away in late April. Yeah, late April. He passed away this year, April 28th. This year, 2018.
I noticed you had rerun in your roll call. You talking about Fred Berry from What's Happening?
Yes, Fred Berry. He was from the original Lockers. You know, a lot of kids can go on YouTube, learn their history about dancing. And Rerun was one of the Lockers. Penguin was the locking name. Came from Shabadoo. You know, I grew up with a lot of that. You know, the street dancing. You know, and they were on Soul Train. They had a show called The Big Show back in the. I don't know if you remember back in the early '80s, late '70s. The Big Show, which the Electric Boogaloo's and the original Lockers were on there. You know, and so Godfather being Samoan from South Bay, it was different because the era Godfather, we grew up in the, how you grow up in a white neighborhood or you go in a black neighborhood or Asian. Our neighborhood was all, mainly black and a little bit of Mexican. So the music of us, the P-Funk was, Godfather, he grew up in that age of the P-Funk, the music-wise, especially with our uncles, they had a band called the Island Drifters and they played them, but, they try to analyze to be like Parliament, and other different P-Funk funk groups. So the music was always in us,
All right, so back to the origins of Westside Piru, man. Tell me how that came about. Why Piru and why Westside? Are you connected to Compton?
Actually, it started from, because at that time, Carson, there was only one park back in the days that a lot of Samoans came out of. It was on the east side, which was Scott Park. So once upon a time, every Samoan was from there in the early 70s, and late 70s. It was when the beginning of the 80s when everyone started separating on their own. And at that time, Piru started from when OG Bartender, Bodacious and Puddin', the Slaughter Brothers, either their grandma or their family lived in Scottsdale. And we were the only Samoan family that lived there also when we lived in Scottsdale. When we moved from 223rd Avalon to Scottsdale, we were the first Samoan family to live in Scottsdale. And that's how the first time we seen Piru written on. So we took Piru because it was different. Everybody wanted to be a Blood or they wanted to be a Crip. But Piru to us, it was just different that, we wanted to be the first Samoan in Carson to be Pirus, which we were.
Did you guys hang out with the Westside Pirus from Compton?
Yes, we were Bodacious and Puddin' was out because they knew my brother, Young Man. My brother, Young Man, I think in the middle of the 80s, I know some of the OGs are going to be watching this. My brother was when he was locked up in the county, they shot him to Old Folsom. He was the first Samoan, the only Samoan from Eastside Cabbage Patch. The A-Dog, Peanut, Bull, the Cornelius family, Sebastian Cornelius, Kiki, all the original East, because at Cabbage Patch there was only like a group of them, but my brother was the only Samoan, long, he was the first Samoan to have the long cornrows all over in the back of his, and he kind of when he went in the county, he started the Carson, as a Samoan at the Carson Piru movement. Where, that's when they first heard the term of, this is Carson Piru, is now, West Side or East Side. Like your own cart, like Compton cart, you guys are South Central, like that. So when he got locked up in there, and then he did his time in Old Folsom, and then he did a couple of years, and then he got out. And that's the first time when my brother got out, he got killed like 3 months after that. But that's the first time I met China Dog, Marcus Nunn. And that's when my brother, his name was Young Man, from Ludus Park.
So how many different sets are you and your brothers from?
Well, my older, mainly the different, me, Red, Monster, Cobra, and Godfather, you know, we stayed Westside Piru, Carson. It was just my brother, young man, because he grew up with my grandma. You know, he was always on the other side. You know, he didn't really grow up with us in our city. Well, he was always on the east side, Cabbage Patch, and from there, then he went to Compton with Ludus, and then that's the only two neighborhoods that we were always Westside Carson Piru.
What about Roscoe?
Roscoe, yeah, he's my family. Him and Giz from Park Village, Compton Crib. You know, being family, you know, when they come visit in Carson, you know, they're at our house, or you know, or we're at the Park Village, we're at his house, you know. So it just, you know, being family, you know, and we never crossed that line of, you know, because usually the Polynesian or a Samoan family, either like you grew up with someone, you know, you became like his brother, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's how when people used to be, they threw him off, like, hey, Roscoe got some Piru brothers, you know, yeah, I never knew that, you know. Or, oh, that's your brother. They get, you know, they're in shock when they find out, oh, but they know that's Roscoe from Park Village or even Compton Giz, you know, because they're all blue down, and you know what I mean? So.
Who was your music influenced by?
Our music influenced by was War, Tower Power, P-Funk, the whole P-Funk Parliament, you know, George Clinton, Rick James, Cameo, a lot of oldies, man. A lot of oldies, man. Brothers, they know a lot of oldies from Dramatics, you know, the Escorts, you know, the Main Ingredient, you know, Tavares, you know, a lot of oldies, man. It's just the Dells, the written, you know, oldies always been in our heart, or in our, you know, that's all we bump. Even when we were in the music industry, you know, people used to, we don't play rap, or I mean, we do, but it was just oldies, you know. We love the music, you know.
And you guys were some of the first people to get on stage with red flags, right?
Yep. Yes, we were.
Yeah, you seem like you guys paid the way for that, man. A lot of people, even Crips, used to like to see you guys perform, watch your videos and shit.
Yeah, we were the first one because, you know, a lot of people, Kev, they really, you know, when we were throwing the W, when we first came out, we wasn't throwing the W for the West Coast. We were throwing the W for Westside Piru. We was, you know, we were making sure that, you know, if you said when you was rapping on when you was putting on wax, okay, you know, you already know, okay, I'm gonna check you, I'm gonna test you.
Mm-hmm.
Where you from, homie? That's the first thing you do. And a lot of these rappers, man, straight out. I remember back in the Jack the Rabbit days, the conventions back in when we first came out, you know. We wasn't just like, you know, oh, okay, where y'all from? Oh, man, you know, we're just doing the music. Oh, okay, I thought y'all was, you know, banging, you know, Blood or Crip, you know. I mean, the way your music is and the way you're dressing,